Welcome to SveNFL.
What's up, y'all?
It's Jonathan Rollins.
Skip me, Sarah.
Two Americans living in Sweden, talking about partying too long.
Yeah, someone went to a party too long last night. And that somebody was me.
Yeah, man, I was out late too, man.
I went to the Barn Cancer Galan, Barn Cancer Comedy Award Show for our. So basically, it's a comedy award show, but it's like the whole like the raising money for child cancer. So it was one of those nights where they kept showing these like little video hits that they had put together. Of kids who get cancer, and in most of the videos, it's like there's a happy ending. It's like, oh, you know, he fought and la la la, and he's okay, and he's here tonight. Like, oh, there he is. There's little Daniel. It's like, oh, yay. But then there were a couple where it was like, yeah, she didn't make it. And you're like, oh fuck, like, and your heart just like drops. And I mean, you're sitting there. I mean, you're sitting there amongst all these, like, you know, celebrities and people all dressed up. And I mean, everyone's just like reaching for a tissue. It's like in tears throughout the night. It was a hot mess.
Oh, no.
It was rough. But they did a good job of like kind of ending it on a high note so that you didn't want to kill yourself when it was over.
Damn. Well, I'm glad you got to be a part of that.
And it just made me want to. I was joking with my buddy Alex, who I was there with. I was like, these videos are just making me want to drink more. And that's precisely what we did when it was over. We went out and we drank more. And then I was like, fuck, it's 1:00 in the morning. I got to go home. But your boy Ahmed was crushing it. He won an award for his show, EFS. And then he won for Comic of the Year for himself.
Nice.
Which was really cool.
I got to hit him up and tell him congrats.
I didn't get a chance to talk to him afterwards, but
cool.
But yeah, he was I was happy for him.
Yeah, man. He's a really good dude.
He seems like a good dude.
I'm dressed in my Dolphins gear today.
Hurting.
I feel like it's most important for me to represent my team after a blowout loss. I find that to be very important to show, like, I'm with you no matter what, as long as the owner is not trying to pay the coach to lose. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Yeah. And as long as you're not trying to get Deshaun Watson, we're all good.
Yeah. Oh, my God. We'll get to that.
I'm totally embarrassed and totally ashamed.
Yeah.
Man. But yeah, it was a crazy week of football.
Man. He's a habitual line stepper.
I just had to do that. You know, you mentioned them. But it was a crazy week of football. Flip 'em, pick 'em. I went nuts on you. Remember, I said it's very important for me because this week was going to be crazy, that I had to decide if I wanted to go first or not. Because I knew it was going to be. I just had a weird feeling, and boy, was I right. I beat you 12-4.
Yeah.
This week.
You whooped my ass.
Whooped you like the Bills beat the Dolphins. Yeah, man.
Yeah, there were a lot of ass whoopings this weekend. Yours.
Yeah, man.
My Falcons, it wasn't it. Well, I don't know. We'll get to that. But
yeah.
Who else? There were a lot of games that ended where you're an NFL team and you only managed to get 3 points. What are you doing?
What's going on here?
There were like 3 games where there were teams that only got 3 points. And then the Saints, they only got 9 points. But yeah, some offenses. So there's some offensive coordinators this week who are under the microscope, I would say.
Yeah. The Detroit Lions began by beating up on the Packers, 34-20. It felt like Jordan Love was going to do some comeback magic, and then the Packers were like, no, sir.
I mean, thanks in part because they built up such a large lead I mean,
Yeah.
they were up 27-3 at the half.
Right.
Not
they only
that meant
scored 7 more
anything,
points.
because we saw some. We'll get to those later, but yeah, we saw some comebacks this week as well.
Yeah.
The Packers ran 23 plays in the first half and gained a total of -1 yards.
God damn.
Obviously, they played better in the second half. Almost got back into the game, but
Yeah.
after scoring a couple of touchdowns, Dan Campbell, as you suggested, just said nope and ran a 14-play, 75-yard drive where David Montgomery scored his third touchdown on the night to keep this game out of reach. Yeah, and Montgomery, Jesus, what did he have?
Yeah.
121 yards, 3 touchdowns, 32 carries, 32.
That's Dan Campbell probably had a raging hard on.
The Lions ran the ball 43 times in this game, and David Montgomery ran it 32. That was 43. It's crazy.
Insane, man.
Jordan Love, something interesting I noticed about him, I feel like we're getting to that part of the season where you can kind of start to size people up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's been very impressed with his start. Obviously, it's the end of the Aaron Rodgers era and whatnot. The thing with Jordan Love is that his good throws are so good that they're a little intoxicating.
Yep.
So intoxicating that it takes you a few games to realize just how inaccurate he really is.
Yep. That was just not coming out of college, too.
I looked this up. He only completes 57% of his passes.
Not in today's NFL, man.
But you kind of, like you said, he kind of overlooks it because when he hits, he's dropping it into a bucket. It's like a beautiful pass.
Yeah.
To make matters worse, he's holding on to the ball too long. He got sacked 5 times. The Lions D line is honestly looking like a legitimate force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they got it humming over there. I feel like the Lions are officially like, I feel like that division runs through Detroit now, period.
Yeah.
I wasn't buying it at the beginning of the year.
I was not buying it either. I was thinking Packers. I was thinking Vikings. I did not know Detroit was going to come out like this. Hey, man, I got to put some respect on Dan Campbell, man.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a joke, but you notice like the sound bite stopped, and then the team got better when he stopped saying wild shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's bound to happen when you're the Hard Knocks team that the media pays too much attention to you for the whole year.
Yeah, good point.
So, yeah, right now I feel like we're overloaded with Jets. I'm like, I get it. It's New York, but can we please just
let's
like
let the team let it happen. Let it happen now. We've said our pieces. Let it happen.
Does every fucking NFL sports media show need to start in the A block with the Jets? Like, what's going on with it? It's like, just fuck. They're just not good this year. It happens, Let it go.
It happens a lot.
It happens a lot. Speaking of it happening a lot, we can move on to the Falcons. Sergeant Segway is in the building.
Yes.
I'm going to – okay, so the Falcons lost 23-7. I'm going to say the same thing this week that I said last week. We have interesting skill position players. We have what is clearly one of the most exciting running backs in the league. Bijan Robinson is out here fucking juking dudes out of their shoes. The defense has given us a chance to win every game, but we have a quarterback who's well below average.
Yeah, man. This is the worst he's looked.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
This one is like, and then people are gonna start like scheming against him. I don't know, man. Maybe he'll have a wake up or like this is just like a lull. But that didn't look good. Body language, like the mindset. I don't know.
I don't see a wake up call in the cards here. I said the same thing last year about Marcus Mariota, and he woke up for 2 games. Like they didn't start the season well. Then they beat the Browns and the 49ers, and you're thinking like, oh shit. And even like on like Good Morning Football, they're like, hey, the Falcons might be sneaky good. And then all of a sudden they're not sneaky good. I looked this up. Only Ryan Tannehill and Bryce Young have a worse QBR rating than Desmond Ridder.
Damn.
I mean, he's out here giving points away in this game, throwing a pick six. You could see coming from a mile away. The DBs started jumping every route because Ridder either can't get past his first read or he doesn't know how to look off the safety. And then you have Arthur Smith dialing up what has to be one of the most predictable game scripts at the beginning of the game, probably because he's forced to play around his shitty QB.
I still can't help but think, like, as I said, they should have found this out last year, man.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And the Jags weren't really that good in this game. They were there for the taking all day, but you throw a pick six, you get the ball back, you throw another pick almost immediately.
Yeah.
And then the Falcons D turns them over on downs, but you still can't do anything with that turnover. Yeah. I mean, we were texting during the game. And I'll say it here, the same thing I said there. I think that given how well the defense is playing, it's flat out coaching malpractice to keep assuming that Ridder is an NFL quarterback. I mean, we have Heineke on the bench. This guy's, he's no world beater, but he's at least a fucking gamer.
Yeah,
you know what competent. I mean? Yeah. Like, he'll go out there and try to win you again. And not that, I mean, obviously Desmond Ridder's trying to win the game, but I feel like they're playing around him. And again, and I don't want to go through this again like I did last year. Maybe Heineke sucks, but just fucking show me. Just show me that he sucks. Show me that he sucks, and then we can all move on and we can know what to expect. That's all. But I think Arthur Smith is very stubborn. He's gonna keep Ridder in there the whole time.
That's what happens when you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Speaking of mouths, the Dolphins got punched in the mouth. It's hard to segue, baby.
Yeah.
48-20, Buffalo beat up on us. It was hard for me because I was like, I had a gig. I'm here in Copenhagen right now for y'all that are curious. I had fun time so far. And we had the show, and like the show started at 8:00. So like I started watching the game in the green room. I was the host, so I like had the phone like playing the game with the mute, no volume, while between me running on and off stage. It's just like every time I came back, they scored a touchdown. I was damn, getting our ass whooped. And it was just like all like the recipe. If you want to beat the Dolphins, get to the quarterback with the front four. Mm-hmm. It seemed like that's what they did. They just got to the quarterback with the front four over and over, making it tough. Dolphins came out. It was like back and forth, and then they just stopped scoring, it felt like.
I mean, the game started precisely how we expected it to start.
Yeah, fireworks.
It was like touchdown, 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 touchdown. It was just like boom, 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 boom. I was like, oh, my God, what? And then all of a sudden, after everyone scored touchdowns every time they touched the ball, the Dolphins suddenly went to punt, fumble, punt, halftime. And during that time period, the Bills were able to score another touchdown as well as a field goal, and suddenly, it's 31-14 at the half.
I was like, damn, they're gonna put up 70.
It kind of felt that way. But I think you're right. I think I've read somewhere going into this game, Tua had only been sacked once so far this season, and they got to him at least 4 times, I think.
We did have some injury, like Teron Armstead got hurt, and the center, Connor Williams, was out.
Right. Teron Armstead leaving the game seemed to have kind of changed everything for the Dolphins.
But it looks good for Buffalo if they did that without Von Miller. What I mean?
They had some key injuries as well. I think they lost one of their lockdown corner. I think they lost him for the year with an Achilles injury in this game. So they suffered some key losses in this game as well. But they got the dub and they whooped that ass.
Yep.
But I would say this to you, as a Dolphins fan, and to the rest of the Dolphins fans who listen to this. Week 4, you're 3-1. You just got punched in the mouth by the Buffalo Bills. I personally think this is a good thing. It happens
Agreed.
early in the season. Everyone was crowning you after week 3 as some kind of revolutionary, like, oh my God, have the Dolphins just changed football? It's
Yeah.
like, no, they haven't changed football. They just have, 4 or 5 of the fastest dudes in the league,
Yeah.
and somebody figured out how to stop them.
Yep. Now they got to
And
adjust.
now
Last year this happened and they couldn't adjust.
yeah, so now you can kind of, bandage your wounds, go home,
Yep.
and figure out how to right the ship. And the fact that it's happening in week 4 is a good thing. It's a good thing.
And you picked the Dolphins to win, and Buffalo won.
I did. I was like
You had also
the idiot.
picked
I was like so many idiots who were like, the Dolphins the week after scoring 70 or, underdogs by 3 points.
yeah.
Vegas is so stupid. Apparently
Vegas was wrong.
apparently I'm stupid.
And then we got the Bears and the Broncos had a shootout. Huh? Who saw that coming? Justin Fields showed up, man. In
He
every
did.
way that he could show up.
This game was so crazy.
Yeah, it was wild, man.
I mean, they spoiled what was easily his best performance.
Yeah. He spoiled it. He threw the pick at the end.
Yeah, well, so many bad things happened before that. I mean, the pick at the end was really like as they were trying to, after they had given the game away.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
But they were up 28-7 at one point in this game, pretty late in the third quarter, actually.
Yeah.
And then it just all started to unravel for them.
Russell Wilson's back, baby.
It was a combination of Russell Wilson, and then obviously I think the one that really killed him was the sack fumble and the scoop and score. That was the one that led to them tying the game. And then the really stupid one this is one of those things that always comes down to, like, I don't know, the football nerds. I don't know if you're supposed to, this drive where it's, what is it? It's fourth and 1. You're on the Denver 18-yard line.
Yeah.
The game is tied. There's just a little less than 3 minutes left on the clock. I don't know. I say kick the field. I say take the lead.
I do too.
I say take the points. Mostly because you're the Bears. You know what I mean? I might say something different if you were
The Chiefs or the Eagles.
Yeah, exactly. Where you could
get
do
short yardage. Yeah.
I mean, you would hope that every team in the NFL could gain 1 fucking yard on one play. But I just think you just let the Broncos come back on you after you're up 27 to whatever the fuck. Take the points, bro. Take the points and hope that your defense makes a stop. And they didn't do that. They turned it over on downs. The Broncos kicked the game-winning field goal. The Bears had, a minute and change to try and win the game, but Fields threw a pick at the end of the game, and that was that. Yeah.
So
poor Justin Fields.
The fumble too, though. I mean, that's one of the knocks on him, is that he's willy-nilly with the ball sometimes when he's moving around, and people can knock it loose. I felt like sometimes you could just feel that ball's about to come out with some of these quarterbacks. Him, Brandon Jones, Tannehill, you just know that ball's, you know what I mean? When they're standing there just looking clueless. Speaking of clueless, the Browns stepped into a division rivalry and forgot to bring the squad, man.
Yeah. They were without Deshaun Watson.
And you picked them to win, too. They were without Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson did not play in this game. He had, was it a shoulder injury? I can't remember. It was a pretty late decision. Like it popped up on the injury report on Saturday that there was a chance that Deshaun Watson may not play in this game. which was a little surprising.
You think he's hiding?
And then it also popped up that David Njoku had set himself on fire the night before the game. Like he was at home. He was at home, and he was starting a fire like in a fire pit, I guess, in his backyard. And I mean, unless he got drunk and fell in the fire, I'm assuming he tried to use lighter fluid or something, because apparently he burned his arm and his face a little bit. He played in this game. He was actually their leading receiver, which didn't say much because they were forced to play their backup quarterback, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who looked very interesting in the preseason. He was kind of a fun quarterback to watch. But preseason ain't regular season.
Nope.
It's a different ball game.
I remember that when he was playing, I was like, okay, he might unseat Deshaun Watson. Well, Deshaun Watson's seat is very secure.
Yeah, the dude had a rough night. He was 19 for 36, 121 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He got sacked 4 times. Lamar Jackson and company just sort of had their way with the Browns. 28-7 or 28-3 victory. But it could have been worse. I mean, they just did whatever they wanted for the most part. And every time they needed a big play, Lamar Jackson was on the run, picking it up for him.
That was the talk of the league has been that Cleveland defense and Jim Schwartz and how he, got it going over there. So it bodes well for this new look Ravens to put up 28 on that defense. But then again, if they're getting the ball and short field and stuff like that, then I still want to see some more from both teams actually.
Yeah, my man, former Bulldog Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator for the Ravens, he was out here scheming them up. Lamar Jackson had 2 rushing touchdowns. Mark Andrews had 2 receiving touchdowns. It was nice to see him finally getting
especially
the end
for fantasy, baby.
Oh my God, yeah, exactly. I have him in one of my leagues. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to take away from this game, to be honest with you, because I also don't know what to take away from the Browns. Like obviously we can, you can talk all day long about that defense, but it's like they beat the Bengals in week 1, who clearly are not the Bengals that we think of.
Yeah, good point.
They lost to the Steelers, who are also not really a good football team.
Is the AFC North for real?
I don't think so. And then they beat the Titans, who are also not really a good football team. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not as scared of the Browns as I used to be. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. What was the next game? We got
Bengals Titans.
Bengals Titans. I thought the Titans would win, and apparently in our rule of threes, another game where a team scores 3 points.
The important thing to take away from this, bro. The Bengals are broken. Derrick Henry can still run through a motherfucker's face. And the dude can throw touchdown passes. He threw more touchdown passes than Joe Burrow in this game.
They just not going to want that.
But you're right. The Bengals appear to be broken. And Big Lou, the defensive coordinator over there, he's doing his job. They're getting to Tannehill early. They're sacking him. But at some point, the offense has to show up if you expect to win the football game. This is, this ain't Dallas's defense that's going to give you 2 touchdowns every game. You know what I mean?
We talk about disservice and all of that stuff to players and teams. Is Zach Taylor fucking this all up, man? Should Joe Burrow be home healing if you're going to take these L's anyway?
I think they're in a tough spot. I think they've already made the original mistake, which was they should have rested him for the first 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
And now you're kind of stuck. You can't, because now if you rest him for 3 weeks, you just have to assume you're going to lose the next 3 games. And now you're in a hole that you can't get out of. So I think the original mistake was already made, and they're just trying to hang on for dear life at this point.
Yeah.
But if I'm a Bengals fan, I'm hitting the panic button with a fucking sledgehammer at this point. Right?
Like, they can't put points up, man.
It's crazy. I mean, I have Burrow in one of my fantasy leagues. I'm genuinely probably going to drop him. I'm like, what am I supposed to? How can I roll with Burrow as my quarterback? I can't do this. I mean,
yeah.
And they lost T. Higgins.
How haven't you dropped them yet?
You know what I did? I actually last week I had Burrow and Richardson, and they were both injured. So I dropped somebody, and I picked up C.J. Stroud, and he absolutely balled out. And so now I'm sitting with 3 quarterbacks in that league, and I'm like, I need to drop Burrow and just keep C.J. Stroud. This guy's a fucking baller.
Yeah, man. They've scored 24. No, I'm sorry. They've scored 3, 24, 19, and 3 this season so far.
It's bad.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to do something, man. The next game you picked, and you said the Rams will beat the Colts, and you were right. One of your 4 correct predictions.
Barely.
Yeah, that's true.
Barely.
They tried to lose this game.
Yeah, they did.
They really did.
I was scared. For some reason, I thought I picked them in the Survivor thing. I was like, did I pick the Rams? Because I really thought they would win. And they pulled it out.
I mean, they were up 23-0 at one point in this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was shocked.
Before Anthony Richardson and his boys climbed back into this one. You know, and it's weird because it's like I sat there and watched the game, and I'm like, they were talking about Richardson throughout, you know, throwing his stats up on the screen. And it's like, how do you blow a lead to the Colts when the quarterback is like 11 for 25? It's like, what's going on over here?
How long is this movie gonna play out? This Richardson thing.
I don't know, man. He's weird because he's like, you know, he's exactly who he was in college. You know what I mean? He's like, he'll make some throws where he will deliver a ball on a fucking rope right into the receiver's hands.
One of the touchdowns was like that.
Mm-hmm. When he hits, it's like, damn. He's got a lot of power to his throw, but he's just really inaccurate. He had another rushing touchdown in this game. This game went to overtime. Rams won the coin toss, and my man, former Bulldog Matthew Stafford, decided that him and Puka Nacua were just going to end this shit right then and there. Puka Nacua
finally got a touchdown.
Finally gets a touchdown. Nine receptions for 163 yards, and the walk-off touchdown in overtime helped the Rams escape what would have been a very embarrassing loss had they fucked this up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a weird one.
Very weird. The Saints played the Bucs, and the Bucs beat up on these boys, man. I didn't see this coming at all. I didn't see a Baker Mayfield 3-touchdown day, almost 250 yards. I didn't see that coming.
I actually left this game with really just one question for Dennis Allen. I have one question for Dennis Allen.
It was
Is a broken, less than 100% Derek Carr really better than a healthy Jameis Winston? Like, why was Derek Carr playing in this game? Why? He couldn't throw the ball more than 5 yards.
It's insulting to Jameis Winston too.
I don't understand. I don't
Let him go against
understand.
his old team. You got that going for you too. It might, you know what I mean?
I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't understand. If I'm a Saints fan, I'm sitting here scratching my head, wondering what the hell are we doing here.
And this was one I got wrong too. I thought the Saints would pull this out. I got to stop doubting the Bucs, man.
Yeah,
Bucs out here 3-1, man.
They are, and the NFC South has the easiest schedule this year. I don't see any reason why the Bucs can't win this division. I haven't seen any of the other teams look good, consistently good. The Bucs are the only team in the division that have shown any consistency at all. So I mean, they're not great, but neither is anybody else in this division. But the Saints are weird. They're so weird like this. So, they can show up one week and lay an egg, and then the next week they punch you in the mouth. They're a weird football team.
I picked an upset last week, like when we did our upset, the Ken Patera upset of the week. I picked the Commanders to beat the Eagles, and I almost got that right, man.
So close.
Because the Commanders came out ready. They were the first team to beat the Eagles last year. I thought they were going to repeat that, and the Eagles said not so fast and beat them in overtime.
This is a weird game because, the Commanders just refused to go away. Sam Howell got sacked 5 times like he always does. This guy is getting sacked at a historic rate this year. I think he's on pace to break the record for most sacks taken.
It's like his own fault, too.
Yeah. But he managed to get them back into this game, both him and I really like this running back, the Brian Robinson Jr., the guy who got shot in the leg last year. He's a fucking baller, that kid. I don't know how the Eagles managed to but really at the end of the game, that was sort of the funny part too, because they, AJ Brown just went absolutely bananas in this game. 9 receptions, 175 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And on that second touchdown, he gets popped for a taunting penalty.
Yeah,
which they added the 15 yards after the kickoff, and. Buddy, did those Washington Commanders need all 15 of those yards? Because they wound up scoring the game-tying touchdown with zeros on the clock. I mean, when the ball is snapped, there's 2 seconds on the clock. They get the touchdown. And here's another decision where you're like,
Yeah, I was thinking about this, yeah.
And it's like, I'm not going to bury Ron Rivera for not going for 2 in that moment.
You got to just take it, man. You know that they're a better team.
But in a way, I think you do go for 2.
Yeah, I thought for sure they were going for it.
I mean, your nickname's Riverboat Ron for a reason, and then you're out here. Riverboat Ron does not kick field goals. He doesn't kick extra points. He goes for 2, and that if you lose the coin toss, you're probably done.
And that's what pisses me off.
So, but at the same time, it's like, that's one of those tough decisions. It's like it's zeros on the clock. If
he goes for it, nobody's blaming him if they don't get it.
I think some people are, but that's what I'm trying to say. I think some people would be like, "Oh my God, you're such an idiot."
It's gonna get second guessed no matter what. We're second guessing him now, but I think your riverboat Ron, like you say. And it's not a surprise if he were to try to go for it. And then if he gets it, I feel like risk reward. You lost to the Eagles. You know what I mean? You were supposed to. Everybody thought you were going to lose to them, and you fought them all the way to the end. Let's not go to overtime.
See, that's exactly why I'm going for 2, but because it's like I think most people would say, "Well, we thought you were going to lose to the Eagles anyway." So kudos to you for going for
Keeping it close. Yeah.
But yeah, the Commanders are interesting. They're they're not an easy out.
No, we were saying that before the season. One thing we said before the season, another thing was that the Vikings were going to be winning NFC North, and they tried their goddamn best to still be winless this week. Beating squeaking out a victory against the Carolina Panthers, the 0-4 Carolina Panthers now.
That pick six that Cousins threw on the first drive of the game. I mean, it was like you could just I felt like you could see it the second the ball left his hands. I have to imagine that he saw it too. The minute you let go of it, it's like, no. Throws it right there at the goal line. Dude takes it back for a 99-yard pick six. They were struggling against the lowly Carolina Panthers. They were down 13-7 at the half. But luckily, luckily the Panthers started turning the ball over themselves.
And
they had a scoop.
Up.
They had a scoop and score. Which helped them to take the lead. Yeah. Alexander Mattison appears to be heating up. Like you said, 95 yards in this game. That's pretty good. Justin Jefferson had a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah.
It was not a convincing win.
No, I was going to say it should have been. They should have. I think this was. No, I didn't pick this one. I forget. There was some nail biters I had for the. Because I'm still in the eliminator. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah. I'm out for trusting the Chargers in week 2. Bryce Young got sacked 5 times in this game. He holds on to the ball too long.
Yeah.
They even said it on the broadcast at one point. He got sacked when he was trying to make a move to get away from a defender, and the guy was like, "Oh, he used to get away. When he played at Alabama, he gets away from that and makes a throw." He's like, but not in the NFL.
Exactly. Oh yeah, that was my pick. Was the Vikings this week? I was playing with fire, man.
Yeah, you were.
Fire.
Yeah, you were.
Man.
But they finally get their first win. So that's good for them. The Vikings get their first win, and their reward for getting that first win is to play the Chiefs next week. So congratulations. Congratulations.
They should have
Vikings.
3 victories by now too, man. The Vikings should be 3-1 with these close losses they've had. Man, it's just like that's their thing, man. All right, then we got the Steelers Texans in the shock of the week. Of course, this was another one that you got to pick, and you picked the Texans to win, and you picked the Steelers to win, and we're all shocked.
I'm not making this mistake anymore of picking against the Texans because I've been dancing around it, but I think I'm ready to say that CJ Stroud this dude is the truth.
Calm, just cool.
Calm, cool, collected, out here carving up the Steelers defense. He missed a lot of throws.
Yeah, I see that.
Only going 16 for 30, but he still somehow manages to put up 306 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah. Both of the touchdowns were kind of long passes.
Yeah, Nico Collins, goddamn.
Nico Collins, 168 yards on only 7 receptions, 2 touchdowns. The Steelers' offense, to me, appears to be dysfunctional is the word. And they couldn't even blame this one on Najee Harris because he had a pretty good. I mean, he didn't blow away the box score, but he had some really nice, angry, fuck you, I'm not going down kind of runs. Like Najee was out here trying to do something.
I got a question for you. How much longer will Matt Canada be the offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh? There's been years now people have said he's not the guy. Schif, what do you think? How much longer? Does he make it through the season? Does he coordinate the team next year? What's your guess?
I think he makes it through the season, but he is not their offensive coordinator next year.
All right. That's been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, man. If you watch Steelers Nation, man, they hate that dude.
And I think that the other important takeaway from this game is that Kenny Pickett injured his knee. We don't currently know the extent of it. Based on what I read, it sounds to me like it's not completely devastating knee injury. Like he's expected to miss a little time,
Okay.
but he's not expected to be done for the year. And that will keep.
It's okay. They got Mitch.
Right, but that will keep Matt Canada his job, right? Because they'll have something to blame.
Oh, he's got an excuse. No, but I don't think Mike Tomlin's about that excuse life.
No, but I also think that Tomlin is probably kind of stuck in the situation, and at some point he'll have to realize he's just going to have to cut him loose.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they took the right quarterback, to be fair. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, Kenny Pickett is this whole narrative that everybody got sucked up in, that just because he played at the University of Pittsburgh and now he plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he knows his, like, remember when he got drafted, they were like, oh, he knows his way around the building. And I'm like,
so
who
does he know his way around a football field?
He knows where the bathroom's at. That's great. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like I just don't think he's that. I don't think Kenny Pickett is that good.
I think, man, you get a tall white dude with long hair that's and a strong arm, and they just love that right away.
Small hands.
I think it might have also been the Dan Marino thing coming from Pitt.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. This motherfucker ain't no Dan Marino, I tell you that.
That's for sure.
Not even close.
Well, speaking of tall and long hair, Justin Herbert, huh? Just wowing us all.
I mean, who are we kidding? The Chargers, they tried to Charger this game.
Man.
Hard.
They're like, man, we're glad we played the Raiders this week.
They scored 24 points in the first half and looked like they were going to run away with this one, but they scored 0 points in the second half and let Raiders rookie quarterback Aiden O'Connell nearly climb back into this one. If not for an otherworldly performance by Khalil Mack, who had 6 sacks, 5 tackles for a loss. I mean, without him, the Chargers lose this game, period. They lose it. They blow it.
We need the sound from Rocky. Throw in the damn towel.
And also, I can't help but imagine if Jimmy G plays this game that the Raiders probably win it.
Yeah.
They probably win it.
Yeah, I think they win it. I think, I don't know, man. I'm not happy as a Chargers fan with what the product that I'm getting. It's like, okay, we got the W, but it just don't feel, it just don't feel good, man.
No. And also, very funny for like hardcore Raiders fans who have been around for a while. They must have been absolutely pulling their hair out when Aiden O'Connell fumbles. It was basically it was remember the tuck rule? When Brady, it was the exact same fumble. It was the exact same fumble, but in the Patriots-Raiders game, they call it no fumble. But in this game, when it's you ain't Tom Brady, kid. You're Aiden O'Connell. That's a fumble, bitch.
Tom Brady wasn't Tom Brady back then.
That was pretty funny. Yeah, but I agree with you. I think the Chargers are. The Chargers are exactly what we thought they were. They're that team that can score.
But they are who we thought they were.
Can score at will, seemingly, and then all of a sudden somebody just turns the lights out, and they're holding on for dear life, basically. So yeah, it must be scary to be a Chargers fan, I think.
Well, I don't know, man. I feel like there's worse teams out there. And speaking of a bad team, New England Patriots, I love how shitty they look. Sometimes
They do.
Can I read a stat line to you?
Please do.
12 for 21, 150 yards and 2 interceptions, no touchdown. The joy I take in this shitty team, man. Oh, I love it. Patriots are now 1-3. Fans are all mad and shit.
Mac Jones got benched.
Mac Jones got benched. I don't know, man. Nobody thought they were going to look good against the Cowboys, but I didn't think Mac Jones would look like that. God damn. He's just not. He's not the guy, man. I'm sorry.
This was a get right game for the Cowboys defense, who got embarrassed last week.
Yeah.
But they showed up and scored 2 touchdowns in this game. One of them was a scoop and score. The other one was a pick 6. I honestly
tried to throw like 3 pick 6s. Like the way this dude goes late to the outside, it's like 101, right? Everybody knows this thing. You don't throw late to the outside. Even in college, you see that happen more in college, of course, because the quarterbacks feel like they can just pull it off. I can't believe this guy keeps doing this.
I think that I think Mac Jones will find a new home, but I think his time with the Patriots is like the clock is ticking. There's no way they line this guy up under center next year. I think they still consider him their number 1 quarterback for now, and probably will do so for the rest of the season. That being said, there's no way Mac Jones is the quarterback of the New England Patriots next year. I don't see it.
Well, I take so much pleasure in this.
I actually have a question. What are we supposed to make of the current Bill Belichick situation? Right? I mean, he's still a great coach. I have no doubt about his abilities as a play caller, as a coach, as a schemer. But for me, the big question is more related to Bill's role as the GM.
No, I mean, they've been nailing the draft the last couple of years. I mean, he had a lull, he had a few years of like, what the fuck? But now, man, they're the pieces they have on defense. I don't know. I can't. They had 2 defensive touchdowns. The Cowboys, right? Mm-hmm. And they had 28 total points.
Well, also the quarterback situation is kind of fascinating because, like, whatever. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from, the history of Bill Belichick, but I mean, you wouldn't be wrong to argue that suddenly finding yourself with the services of Tom Brady, who was clearly better than they thought he was.
Yeah.
Without that pick at 199.
Yeah, man. And he bought in, and he was like super competitive and did his thing. You know what I mean? Took advantage of his opportunity and turned out to be one of the best ever. But then you don't have to worry about one side of the ball, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Because it's not like it's not like they've had a great run with quarterbacks before Brady or after. I mean, he tried to go outside his comfort zone a few years ago when they signed Cam Newton. That didn't work.
They could have signed Lamar Jackson.
A lot of people this week, the Falcons Twitter, Falcons radio, everyone is talking about like how we could have signed Lamar Jackson.
Oh, okay.
This year too.
He got passed over.
You know what I mean? And it's like
I just thought the Patriots were going to get him. I was terrified, and then they did get him. So
yeah,
because when he kept falling, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
The Cardinals put up 16 and gave up 35, but you got to give it to the Cardinals, man. They're fun. They're a fun team. They went up against the best team in football right now, and the 49ers are just rolling. McCaffrey is on my fantasy team. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that. He had 3 touchdowns on the day. So.
No, he had 4 touchdowns on the day. He had 3 rushing and 1 receiving.
Oh yeah, that's true.
The guy was everywhere. Brock Purdy was nearly perfect, 20 for 21.
Man.
He missed 1 pass, 20 for 21, 283 yards and a touchdown pass.
Wow.
I don't know what you're supposed to do to stop the 49ers at this point. All I can say, well, I won't even see it because I think it's in prime time, but this next week, 49ers, Cowboys, that's going to be delicious.
Yeah.
That's going to be something.
I can't wait. I think I'll get up and watch it. The next game was Chiefs-Jets, and that one turned out to be, I mean, it was so close that it just makes you think, what if we had a good quarterback?
Right. Because a lot of people are giving Zach Wilson credit for having played what was, maybe one of his best games of his career. He was good. He led them to a near comeback. He made a very crucial mistake when he fumbled the snap late in the game. Yeah. Obviously, he took ownership of that.
How did he get that? It's so weird, man.
He explained it. He didn't explain it by way of trying to make an excuse, but he did let the media know what was. He said that he was standing there getting ready to call for the snap, and he could see out of the corner of his eye that the edge rusher was kind of creeping up, and he thought he had misread the defense. And so he was focused on, as soon as I get the ball, I need to scramble to my right, like immediately. And he said it all happened so quickly.
Doesn't he think that every play?
You would think so, yeah.
That's his thing. I need to scramble to my right.
But he did, the touchdown pass that he threw to CJ Uzomah was a really great example of how maybe there is some hope for Zach Wilson as long as Aaron Rodgers is there to kind of mentor him, because he made a play. He looked like a young Aaron Rodgers in that moment. He faked the handoff and he kept his back turned to the defense, and he basically just kind of calmly stood there and hid the ball. Like the guts that it must take to do that. It was such a Rodgers move, you know what I mean? It's like, hide the ball, make them think that the running back has it, and then he turns and he just lobs a dime right into Uzomah's hands for the touchdown. It was like, it was basically like Aaron Rodgers 1-on-1. It was beautiful.
So you think that he saved his career with this
I
game?
think that he's walking away with a lot of I think a lot of people are. I think this game made a lot of people kind of root for Zach Wilson, because But I would argue that you almost came back on the Chiefs when Patrick Mahomes played one of the worst games he's played.
Yeah, they got that defense, man.
In his career, the defense is one thing, but Mahomes, like the 2 picks that Mahomes threw, were kind of baffling. Like he was throwing up punts, throwing 10 yards short of the receiver right into their hand. Like he obviously took ownership of that too. He's like, that's my bad. That's
not how I made a mistake. I can't remember doing that.
But he also pointed out the very, what's absolutely true, that, some weeks it doesn't look so good, but we got the W and we move on to the next week and we try to get better. He's like, I'm not proud of it, but hey, we did it.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, and luckily they had Isaiah Pacheco, who probably had his best game of the season. That motherfucker, 20 carries, 115 yards, and a touchdown. And we say it all the time. He runs like his feet are angry at the ground that he's running on. Like he's just like he's so he's interesting.
The final game of the week, another three burger. The Giants dropped.
Can you call it a burger? Is it more like it's more like a slider at that point? Is it not?
That's what we'll start calling. If you only score 3, you got a slider. You got a 3 slider.
Yeah.
They put up 3 against the Seahawks. Seahawks came out and just embarrassed the Giants. Well, the Giants embarrassed themselves. The old Daniel Jones came back. The pre-Dable Daniel Jones showed up.
He did.
Oh, man, it was so bad. I was just laughing as I watched it, actually. I feel bad.
He threw a pick 6 in this game. Daniel Jones got sacked 11 times, I think. 10 or 11 times.
You think him and Mac Jones have the same father? It's real easy to keep up with these Joneses.
Yeah. I don't even want to hang out with these Joneses, much less keep up with them.
Up with them. But it was 27 for 34 because he was throwing everything kind of underneath. 203 yards, 2 interceptions. Man. It was just like the Seahawks were looking like the Legion of Boom again in this one.
They were.
The blitz timing was impressive. They must have got a tip off like, okay, this is what they do. Somebody had a tell or something on the offensive line. Maybe they had, and they figured the Seahawks knew it. It felt like they knew the snap count because they were bursting across that line and blitzing exotic blitzes. It was impressive.
Exotic blitzes. That's hot.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Bobby Wagner had 2 sacks. Jordan Brooks had 2 sacks. Devon Witherspoon had 2 sacks. He also had the pick 6, didn't he?
Yes. Yeah, he did. He was balling. He had 2 sacks and a pick 6, yeah.
That's a good night. 11 sacks, 10 tackles for a loss, and 14 QB hits. They were living in the backfield. Living.
Drew Lock came in for Geno for a little bit.
Oh, that's right. Geno, I love Geno. I feel like that was a late tackle. He was clearly going out of bounds. I forget who the defenseman was that tackled him. It wasn't flagged for a late hit. But Geno got up and he was pissed. He was all up in that dude's face. It was I love me some Geno.
Yeah, he's growing on me. I still he was a Jet for a while, so bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah. Well, he's almost as far away from being a Jet as he can possibly be at this point. True. He's way to fuck over in Seattle.
That's true. I got to get over it. That's proof. The fact that Drew Lock went 2 for 6 for 63 yards. Pete Carroll was right. I have 2 starting quarterbacks. And K9 was looking good. They looked the way they run, like the combination of K9 and Charbonnet. I mean, you can see here, just looking at the stats, that the Seahawks didn't need to do much because, when you get the turnovers and short field and all that stuff, you don't have to do much. But I love just watching Charbonnet and Walker the way they run with that offensive line. Looks nice. Mm-hmm. It's good football.
Yeah, they got a good thing going over there. They start the season 3-1. They got to be happy.
Unfortunately, what we did learn this week
there's a lot of bad football from what I watch.
It's true.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah. We saw
that's the week, man. You get your ass beat 12-4.
Uh-huh. I did. Just like my Falcons got their asses beat.
And my Dolphins got their asses beat.
Yeah. I think collectively
sometimes you need it. You're going to bounce back.
Yeah. Collectively, we just proved that we are not serious people.
You are not serious people.
This is such a great line. I love it.
We're gonna. I think I want your help making my pick'em this week for my eliminator. Even though I shouldn't trust you since you lost already.
No, you should not trust me.
I've been leaving out all these upsets this week. Got me a little scared. I've been leaving out the better teams in the league on purpose. Because I've listened to the teams I've won with: the Commanders, the Saints, the Vikings. There should be another one: Commanders, Saints.
Have you taken the Texans yet?
No, not yet.
They're playing the Falcons next week. You should take them.
No, I'm not fucking with that. No. I'm not going to be doing that. Oh, Seahawks too. Commanders, Saints, Seahawks, and the Vikings. Those are the 4 teams I've done already. So
Saints are playing the Patriots. I could see that.
I'm going to save like Buffalo and Kansas City. I'm going to save those teams for the end of the
Take the Cardinals versus the Bengals. They play each other next week.
Oh, no. I'm going to stay. That's a stay away, boy. Well, I'll figure it out. But yeah, what's your superlatives? I can start my real MVP. We just mentioned him, Devon Witherspoon. I think it's so cool when a defensive player shows up like that. He's a rookie. He gets himself 2 sacks. He gets himself a pick 6 and helps his team just shut down the Giants. So, I got the thing today. And I'm proud when a rookie gets to do his thing like that. So I gotta say,
You the real MVP.
My pick is not only the Week 4 MVP, but also a dude who has a real legit argument for the first non-QB MVP of the season in a very long time. Christian McCaffrey, 20 carries, 106 yards and 3 touchdowns, plus 7 receptions, 71 yards and a receiving touchdown. This dude is unstoppable.
yeah,
He can run around you. He can run through you. He can hurdle over your ass.
yeah.
And he can catch the ball out of the backfield. In every aspect of the game, McCaffrey is like he's your worst nightmare if you're playing against him. He's amazing. He's my MVP.
You the real MVP.
You got trash?
I got some trash I need to take out.
I got some trash too.
I'm going to go with Matt Eberflus and the Chicago Bears. You are up 28-7 against the listless Denver Broncos late in the third quarter. Justin Fields is having the best statistical game of his entire NFL career, out there doing exactly what you wanted him to do. He's standing in the pocket. He's making throws. He's not running all over the place. He throws for over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. How do you let this slip away? I don't understand. And I guess the football nerds will tell you that going for it on 4th and 1 when you're tied with under 3 minutes to go on the Broncos 18-yard line is the right thing to do. Call me old school, but I think if you have a chance to take the lead, you take the damn lead. Ask your defense to make a fucking play. This, along with the level of dysfunction within the organization, both on and off the field, they are easily the Week 4 trash. And I'm starting to think that Matt Eberflus is a lock for first coach fired.
You are trash!
Yeah, man. I take you can't have more joy than I have in watching, after dealing with 20 years of supremacy in the AFC East, watching the downfall of the Patriots. And they had what many argue is the best quarterback of all time, whatever, one of the best quarterbacks of all times in Tom Brady, and now having one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. It's so great to me watching Mac Jones repeatedly throw late to the outside, people dropping interceptions only to get the interception later, make up for it with the same bad throw. Him running out of the pocket is fun. It's funny, man. It's like a child with no coordination and just getting run down from behind. You know he's gonna fumble. It's poetry for me in motion, and I don't know how much longer I'm gonna have this luxury. I'm gonna enjoy it while it lasts. So right now I gotta say, Mac Jones.
You are trash!
Nice.
My shit got learned is our preseason predictions about these divisions that are the best in the league. If you would have asked anybody who are the best divisions in the league, everybody would say the AFC North is the best division in the league, right? the NFC East was going to be the best division in the league. And our best division, they're not so best right now, man. Everybody's looking like they can get got. Who would have thought that the Steelers would get that ass whooped? That the Browns can't pinch anybody. Well, they had a injury too, but the Bengals out here unable to score. The AFC North is, everybody was saying how great it is. These best divisions ain't so best, man.
My shit got learned. It is Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023, in the year of someone's Lord. It is 13 minutes past 10 o'clock. And I'm calling it. Bengals are done.
Oh.
It's over. 2023, it's a lost season. They paid Burrow. They're not going to be able to keep all of these players, right? T. Higgins fractured his rib in the Titans game. I say as soon as he gets healthy, the Bengals need to go into full-on yard sale mode. Pile up draft picks. Joe Mixon too. Bunch of teams would want him. Anything that is worth something and isn't nailed down to the floor, sell it. Outside of Burrow and Chase, of course.
Wow.
Pulling the trigger now will make the difference between a rebuild and a remodeling. Just get real, rip off the Band-Aid, get it done, because the Bengals are a dumpster fire.
Wow.
That's what I learned.
Wow, I'm shocked, man. But hey, you got a good point. Scariest AFC team, I got to say the Bills. Well, what they did to the Dolphins, which was supposed to be this juggernaut. McDermott now calling the plays was like, hold on now, we got this. And their offense looks good. They got the wake-up call early with the Jets loss, and now it seems like they're just rolling. What's your scariest AFC team?
Yeah, I agree. It's the Bills. Yeah, they're the real deal.
Who's your scariest NFC team?
Still the 49ers.
Yeah, man, they're just oof.
It's got to be.
Yeah. And I mentioned it with my scariest teams, but I'm gonna have to put some spec on Sean McDermott, man. Everybody was terrified of that Dolphins offense that put up 70 points on the Broncos, who also gave up a lot of points to the Bears. So maybe just settle down, Dolphins fans. And Sean McDermott came out and smacked him, pulled it out, showed how big it is, and really, I thought that losing Leslie Frazier was going to be another reason why the Bills were going to regress and get overtaken by the Dolphins. But after that game and the way the two teams are looking right now, I got to say not so fast. And Sean McDermott told everybody,
put some respect on my name.
I was going to go with Josh Dobbs not being able to buy his own jersey at the Cardinals Pro Shop this past week. But I thought that was kind of funny and ridiculous.
Yeah, that's cool.
But they quickly realized the error of their ways. So I changed my mind and decided to go with White Geno. I'm not going to lie. I love making fun of Baker Mayfield. I always love making fun of this guy. But the dude is far and away the best quarterback in his division through the first 4 weeks. I mean, granted, being the best quarterback in the NFC South is a little like being the skinniest kid at fat camp, but this dude is out here making plays. And I'd take him over Desmond Ridder at this point. He's out here playing like I said it a few weeks ago, he's out here playing like he's all out of second chances.
He kind of is.
I think he is too. But you have to give him some respect. He's doing great.
Put some respect on my name.
All right, man. Well, that's it for our reactions, man. Week 4 is now in the books, and we've learned a lot.
Yeah, we do.
Sorry for those of you that are following our gambling journey. We didn't get to bet this last week. I've been on the move, man. So we'll get some bets in for you this coming week. But we appreciate y'all checking us out, and we'll be back with predictions for Week 5. It has been your boys, Jonathan Rollins
And Schif Misara.
with SveNFL. We will holler at y'all later. Peace.
Later, y'all.